Oh, you
Oh,
What was that move?
it said we was live, and I was
you was big jam.
when when I,
You was big jam. Oh God. All I got is shoulders.
I got my shoulder meat out.
So I can listen to this song on repeat like 12 times.
Wow.
Oh,
oh, this remind me back in my stripper days.
and your stripper days.
Yeah, couldn't dance a lick. Just
Well, I think you should show us, remind us of how you used to be
eh,
Wait,
before
let me
your
see some
deliverance.
candy.
eh. My hoochie daddy
Remind us.
short.
You gonna show your hoochie daddy shorts?
Can we wear hoochie daddy shorts on Facebook?
You can wear hoochie daddy shorts wherever you
They
want
might
to wear them.
block you. They might
Look,
They
block
might
you.
look my hoochie daddy short.
back up, back up. Oh,
No, sir.
yes, right.
Welcome
Oh
to the
man,
show.
welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
This
Let
ain't
me
the show
get
you thought it was gonna be.
um. This is my jam, but I think we all jamming. Welcome to the show, y'all. We waiting on y'all to come on in anyway. In the meantime, we are having a jam session.
Wait.
Feel free to come in and join and jam with us, cause it's all right.
I don't know what to do with the breakdown.
You just jam. You- I know you're lying. I know you're lying.
Wrapped up tight, giving me a heart attack. Whew. All right. I'm
No,
fabulous.
this is the best part. This is about to come on. Look at Lee, all in it, all in it,
Biting the lip.
biting your lip and everything, and everything.
Oh my goodness.
The one time I don't put my phone on do not disturb.
Mm, mm, mm.
Mm.
We
It's
didn't
on
hear
there
it.
now.
Everybody want to disturb. Ain't that
We
Everybody
something?
didn't
want
hear
to
it.
disturb. They're messing up my song. I don't appreciate that.
It's all right. It's all right.
Now
Hey, we still going?
it's on do not disturb. You better jam out, Lee.
I didn't know we was still going. I thought we was this like church when they do like all these reprises.
The reprise.
He did not say it's like church.
This come here come the best part. Where's my microphone? I'm gonna use my inhaler. Right, see? Because
Oh
somebody
my
was
goodness.
gonna need it. Somebody was gonna need
Somebody
it.
was gonna need it.
Hey, strawberry.
Yes.
All of them.
Me.
Oh,
She she felt a little bit of that.
she felt a lot of bit of that.
I was waiting on that.
Oh, baby.
You know, I have to admit, I didn't know all these words.
I don't never know all the words.
So I
I
put
be
I,
that
knowing all
song
the
on.
words.
Oh, that's what they were saying? Oh. Oh, okay. I had no idea.
Come on, saxophone.
y'all ain't ready.
No.
I
No.
got me a good note. I'm writing me a good note. The
I
song
wasn't
made me
ready. I was not
Mm.
ready.
Song gave you a revelation.
I did not know.
See, this is a song you gotta play all the way through. It's gonna take you all the way through.
You letting it breathe?
Let it breathe
Let
in the
that
words
song
of Big
breathe.
Mike.
I think this is the extended version. I ain't never heard all these instruments.
You know, now Cameo was and is a real band.
Indeed. Indeed. Head over here to the refreshment corner.
Not the refreshment corner. All
I
right.
thank y'all for obliging me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now we may not have, as you were listening to Candy by Cameo. Everyone of color knows that song. If you have do not know this song, you have been under a rock. Um, but what I will say is the song says strawberry, raspberry, all those good flavors.
Mm.
Unfortunately, we don't have any strawberry or raspberry,
I
but
had
we
some
got
of that
some
instead.
good flavors
I had
like
strawberry
sugar
too.
smacks,
Oh.
caramel deliciousness, and a good old piece of chocolate. That's what we
Hey!
got.
Hey, listen to that.
That's what we got up in here. Up in
We
Hey!
here.
got it. We got it.
Welcome.
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 So we can't ever. Okay, let me be a grown up. Welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm Bryson. This show is about. I actually did my homework. Welcome to our show, Candy, Compromise, and Compassion. So we already know. A lot of us know that June is Black Music Month and National Candy Month. Come on, put it together. Put it together. Black June is Black Music Month and National Candy Month. Okay, let that resonate. Hence the
Mm.
correlation of the show title and the
Blacker the
songs.
berry, the sweeter the juice. Oh,
Yes. However,
Mm, mm, mm.
yes. However,
yes.
June 1st is also Narcissism Awareness Day. Narcissism is the very opposite of the second portion of the program title, which is compromise and compassion. Full title: Candy, Compromise, and Compassion. See how it all goes
I
together?
see what you did there.
You see
I
what I
see
did
what you
there?
did there.
I
See what
see
I
it.
Hmm.
did there? Okay.
I see it. I saw it.
You synced it. You synced it.
I think
The
it.
candy is sweet, good to you, but not always good for you.
Mm.
Mm.
Compromise and compassion are essential in relationships and connections, but hard to find and to maintain. Hmm,
Mm.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
Mm.
With that
You
being
said it.
said, you said what now, sir?
You said that.
I said that.
You
Amen. All
said
right.
that.
No, oh,
Mhm.
thank you. Thank you for speaking into the mic. You spoke. You had a word. You said that. With that being said, where do you stand? How do you serve? And how are you being serviced? There's a particular thing that I want to read, and I got to scroll back because we're live. So we're just gonna make this real regular schmegula. I had real schmegula degula. I had it. If y'all could look back at what's in these chats
Ooh.
between the three of us, and Angel be the worst one.
Hmm. I believe it.
Angel be the worst one. I
I
be
believe
delivered. I be delivered. She be the first one. The worst, the worstest. All right, here it goes.
Whew.
So I'm going to go back to what I just said. How do you serve, and how are you being serviced? Candy, compromise, and compassion. I found this tweet that says some of y'all think you make good partners because you won't cheat, but you don't realize that you're inconsiderate, unappreciative, manipulative, insecure, lack empathy, have
Mm.
poor communication skills,
Mm.
harboring emotional trauma from your past,
Mm.
and you're bad at sex.
it. Boom.
You say that was a tweet? That sound more like a thesis paper.
Boy, that she dissertated that.
Mm. Ooh.
So where do you stand? Now I'm gonna let that simmer. I'm gonna introduce my genius friends. One is drinking on a Snapple, and
Ooh.
I think wasn't Snapple like at one time operated, owned by the KKK or something?
Look,
You lying.
at
You
one
lying.
point in time, black folks had boycotted
We was on
uh,
Snapple
Snap.
strike.
We were on
Where you been?
Snapple
I didn't
strike.
And you
get
was
the
still
I didn't get
no,
the
you was
memo.
still here too. You was still here at that time.
Yeah, that was years
I
ago.
didn't get the memo. I
Oh
didn't
my
get the memo.
gosh.
And
Let
I
me
pro-
find out you.
and I probably didn't drink Snapple back then because I
Let
just
me,
started this.
let me find out you work for the man.
Yeah.
Let me find out you work for the man. Uh, LeAnzar, Stockley, Grief. What's your real title? Grief.
See that word no? This is a no drink.
That probably
No.
say no, no lies. That probably say no, you lying.
No artificial flavors or sweetness.
Hmm.
Mm. So
But
what
you
they do?
putting, but you putting all your sweet lips, all of that caramel deliciousness on that thing.
Act like you didn't see it.
Welcome, sir. Tell us your titles now because you gain new titles every week. What is your title now?
Show enough. This month.
Well, I was gonna save this. I
See,
was gonna save this for a special time, but
this is a
considering
special time.
it is but
Okay,
considering it is the month of June and everybody's graduating and doing everything that they're doing, I am now officially Dr. LeAnzar Stockley.
oh, you
Uh,
lying. Oh, you lying. Oh, you lying, friend. Oh, you can't get me like that. I don't care. I don't care nothing
no,
about no camera. I'm about
I'm
to
just
lay
playing.
across this floor.
I'm
You
just playing.
playing.
You
I'm just
playing.
playing.
You playing.
Mhm.
What was I just shouting for?
I know you lying.
Shouting in faith.
So you just tricked us or what?
Oh my goodness.
Well, depending on where you Google,
You the doctor of love?
it just depends on where you Google.
What the hell?
Look under my look under my national provider number as a mental health professional. It may say Dr. LeAnzar Stockley. Not
Okay.
my doing though. Not my
Oh,
doing.
oh. Well, you better screenshot it and print it somewhere so people know it happened once. Happened.
I'm over here turning car wheels, about to start crying, everything.
Now my titles are all the same. Don't mean nothing. Just mean that I got debt.
It mean you sat through them classes.
It
Sat
mean I
through
said,
it. You
it
sat
mean I
through
sat
it.
through them classes, got kicked out a few of them, and ticked off a few teachers, but
Left
they still
early.
decided to go ahead and confer me anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Confer. You were
Hmm.
conferred.
I'm conferred. I got them on the wall.
So grief counselor,
Grief recovery specialist,
grief recovery specialist.
certified relationality specialist, hmm master of arts in human services counseling, uh, minister, elder, bishop, pastor, uh, friend, uh, partner.
She's still counting.
Uh, I am love for you.
That'll wrap it up.
There it
Like
is.
candy.
Hey, and then that PYT to your left, and actually that's on top of me. Go figure. Um,
Go figure.
looking like a piece of candy.
Hey,
Angel Simmons, relationship coach, and
Woo!
you got about 12 other titles too. You care to share?
I can only remember a few right now. But good
Okay.
evening. My name is Angel Simmons, and I am a certified grief coach. I am a certified relationship coach. Uh, I will soon be a certified life coach in cognitive behavior therapy.
Mm.
And yes, an author, author of Love's Great Design, as well as Target of Love, Surviving Narcissistic Abuse. Um, and I'm your guest for the evening.
Okay.
Sounds good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Bryson with I'm just regular old me. Um, Host, commentator, interviewer, promoter, producer of Sweet Spot Media and all the things for the culture and for the creatives. So if anyone that's about their business of culture and creativity, you're welcome to my platform. My platform is designed to uplift and to boost and to advertise and, of course, to support and pay it forward. You can find me mostly on Instagram at the original Bryson. Woo woo.
All right.
So let's go back to this here question, and or even just the whole intro. Um, I'm not going to pick. I usually pick who goes first. Um, I want you guys to go ahead and let's address this topic at hand: candy, compromise, and compassion. How we working?
Ladies first.
You knew he was going to do that
Exactly. I'm a gentleman.
Mm.
with Hoochie Daddy short.
With Hoochie Daddy shorts. My pronouns is he, him, and his.
Ow,
Did I do it right? Was that right? Did I say it
ow,
right? I
Oh,
think I said.
ow.
okay. All right. Well, when I thought about the topic, the first thing that came to mind was definition for the word compromise.
Mm-hmm.
We use that a lot in relationship, talking about trying to meet in the middle. We got to meet in the middle. You got to give up something. I got to give up something, and we gonna come to an agreement. But actually, part of that definition said to accept standards that are lower than what is desirable.
That's what compromise is.
That was one of the definitions I found, accepting standards that are lower than what is desirable. And that made me question the word agreement. Why would anybody agree willingly to accept standards that are lower than what's desirable? What's the standard? I mean, the standard is the standard, right? So how are we constantly living beneath our standards? Because it said lower. So I'm living beneath my standard to compromise with you. And then I went back to is it Eartha Kitt? It's a video of Eartha Kitt from
Marcus.
years
Because that's where I was
years
going.
ago.
That's where I went
Years
with
ago.
Marcus,
Yeah,
darling.
that's where I
Years
was going.
ago. And I wish we could just
I'm not
put it up
wearing
on the
any
screen.
panties, Marcus.
Well, but there's a video, of somebody interviewing her about relationships and somebody compromised, and she kind of went off on
I
the word
think I know
compromise.
what you're talking. I think you sent me that.
Oh my
If
goodness.
it wouldn't look so janky, I would scroll through my phone and try to find it. I believe you sent me that on social media.
Mm.
Mm.
But she had a few words for why would I do that? I don't compromise, and it was just that's the word that stuck out in today's topic for me. So
So compromise is not in unison. I think we have learned that compromise. Oh, okay, what y'all want to eat? Lee wants one thing, Angel wants one thing, I want something else, and then, well, hey y'all, how about we go over here and everybody's satisfied, right? So
but
that's
are you?
Well,
well, when you agree.
and
But a
that's the
lot of people agree just to keep the peace.
So
oh,
compromise has a negative connotation to it. It's really a negative connotation. So what word can we choose, or what description can we utilize to no longer keep our compromise activated?
I generally I generally don't like the word compromise in the way that it's usually used, especially, or let's put it this way. Let me not say I don't like the word compromise. I do for things that don't matter in terms of core values. Like if it's not a core value, then because I don't think that we a lot of times we compromise. We should be compromising our core value. I use the word collaboration. And most time when I'm talking about relationships or doing things with relationships, I'll say instead of the idea of compromise, where it seems like everybody's making some type of concession. You know, I usually generally say aim for collaboration. This idea of collaboration, because a lot of times there's a way we can both get what we want, or both get what we need. You know, especially when you're talking about something that are core values of a thing. You know, a lot of times when we really sit and we hash this out, a lot of times our values are with other people may align very well, because if we leave everything left to just desire per se, like our the little external desires that we particularly have, them things, man, they change. So now you done compromised, or you're not getting this desire, so you don't let go of that relationship or whatever that may be, and then a year later you feel yourself right where that person was, because your desire now has faded
Hmm.
into another space. So I just kind of look at the thing of I go more so for, instead of compromise, let's talk about collaboration. Let's move more into collaboration. That's a more mature relationship, a more healthy relationship. It's allowing everybody to be who they are and learn how to collaborate with each other
Mm.
when at all possible. But things like, what do you want to eat today? What do you want? Okay, well, I'm a steak man. You know what I mean? I want me a steak, a filet
Hmm.
mignon. To be honest with you,
For Lex Mignon.
filet to make a no. Yeah. However,
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 I might not have to have that today.
Not today.
Not today. At some point I need to have it.
Not
Even
today.
if our collaboration is you go get it by yourself and I won't be mad.
We don't have to eat the same thing today.
Yeah, we don't.
We
Baby, we
don't.
don't.
Hey, Merrick.
We don't always.
Merrick, my
Merrick,
favorite. Thank
he
you for
dropped.
posting
He
the.
Oh,
dropped
he
the.
dropped the video. There
Can
it
He
we
dropped
is.
the
put it?
video,
Can you put it?
and I was
Can,
just watching it. Her
you just watched
reaction.
it?
Her reaction to the word compromise was a very hearty laugh. She
Are
said, "For
you are
what?"
you able to
I
connect
don't
that
think
into
so.
this?
I don't know
Mm-mm,
about that.
mm-mm.
I don't think so.
We ain't that
We'd have
advanced
had
yet.
to upload it, and it had to been ready to play. But she
Mm-mm.
laughed. It was hilarious to her. Compromise for what? She said, "A man comes into my life. Uh, a man comes into a relationship with me, comes into my life, and I have to compromise. Why? For what?" I believe she said at the end, relationship is earned, not something to compromise for.
Ooh,
Hmm.
I believe that was the last thing that
Hmm.
she said.
Eartha
But
was
she
giggling.
laughed. She laughed a couple of times. Compromise. What is compromise? For what?
Mm, mm.
For what?
Wow.
Relationship is earned.
Ooh. She said
I
relationship is
think,
earned.
see. Well, I don't know. That's Eartha. That's Eartha
That's
Kitt.
Eartha. I'm just saying what Eartha said. I ain't saying that's what I'm saying,
Because
but
sometimes there's a line for some of it to where it crosses over into, again, how we, before we talked about your list, and then
ooh,
now ain't nobody worthy because of your list.
ooh,
So here's where it goes to me.
ooh.
Everybody has to do their internal work so that you're not subjecting people to parts of yourself
Your
that
trauma.
is not aligned to being relational, to the recognition that you're on this planet with a bunch of other people. The whole thing of not being alone means that left to yourself. But we all want to live left to ourselves, and then we want to find partners that leave us to ourselves, or friends that leave us to ourselves. Nobody ever calls us on our stuff, holds us accountable. We can do whatever the hell we want to do. We like that, but that's not really healthy for us. So it's like we really got to come from a space of saying, I've really done my work. So now I am standing at a place where I can't compromise my value. It's not because I'm being selfish, it's because I'm being aligned to who I really am.
I want to play this, and I think you guys can hear it pretty good through my earbuds. You guys let me know, but I'm going to play this, and I'm just going to show everyone the video so everybody can know. Let me get it together.
Hmm.
Falling in love, but falling in love for the right reasons, falling in love for the right purpose, falling in love, falling in love. When you fall in love, What is there to compromise about?
Isn't love a union between two people? Or does Eartha fall in love with herself?
Is that Sydney talking?
I think
I don't think
if you
so.
were to think about it in terms of analyzing, yes, I fall in love with myself and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
Has that happened?
Bye, Waylon! Bye! Many times. In many ways.
Okay, that must have been the beginning of
Mm.
the video that I saw.
Okay. But whoever Byron was, he was very important, and black folks are always stopping in the middle of whatever they're doing and screaming somebody's name and speaking to somebody. So shout out to Byron, whoever Mr.
Whoever
Byron is,
Byron was.
because she compromised her video, her interview to holla at Byron.
What she was saying was everybody's equally important. Hold on, baby.
Everybody's equally
Byron, see ya.
Byron. I'm gonna see you
Pretty
later.
much.
Compromise. So
Pretty
she
much.
said she wants to share herself.
She
She's
said she
falling in love
fall
with
in love with
herself
herself.
and she wants somebody to share in that.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
see, I can hear that in two ways. I can hear that from a arrogant standpoint, but I can also hear it from a healed and whole standpoint. And I think that that's what we face in our society. We face these two things, and we listen to the energy of where it's coming from. Is a person saying what they're saying, um, not just saying that they're stating a fact, but are they saying what they're saying from the energy of because I'm just all that and an arrogant pop my collar kind of whatever, or are they saying it from a place of no, I've really truly just like I see the divine in you, I truly see the divine in me.
I
So
don't
this
think I don't think that's hard to ask for. Like that's a
it's not.
whole mood. That's a whole mood, and I think Earth the Kid was practicing and sharing about her own versions of self care before self care became a whole phrase.
Hmm.
But
You
then
know,
there's this comment here, which makes me question
She
where
died
she
good and single.
where she was coming from with it. And it begs to ask the question, was she happy single? She said she had fallen in love many times, many
mm-hmm,
times.
Well, she
mm-hmm.
wanted Marcus to come over there, and
Because she
she
didn't
didn't have,
have no panties.
she didn't have them panties on.
Times,
She
many
Marcus,
was
times,
she
darling.
she was hoping it was Moist Mouth Monday.
many
She
times.
I
was
Oh
hoping
my
for
God.
Moist Mouth Monday. She wanted
Oh
that
my
boomerang to
goodness.
come through.
Lord,
You hear
help,
me?
help, help. So
Hmm.
in this sense, because she had had those experiences many times, because she had fallen in love with herself, was it fine with her that she was single?
That's a good question. That's a good question because I honestly listen. This is just me, and it's not anything against anybody, right? I don't believe everybody has to have a romantic partner. I do believe everybody needs a partner. Now, let me qualify that. I believe
So,
none of it.
so
Your partner can be
romantic
your.
partner and an intimate partner, and I'm not just talking sexually,
Mhm.
but romantic partner and an intimate partner. Those are two different things, correct? Or will they be the same?
To me, I would say they're different things
Mm-hmm.
because I think we all need somebody intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be completely platonic,
Mm-hmm.
but intimate.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean? I feel like we need a partner in life. We're not designed to be alone. So we need
Mm-hmm.
some friends, some family, somebody that is we're all out naked with. And we allowed to
With
be
our
all out
hoochie
naked
daddy
with us
shorts.
because it's with our hoochie. Y'all want me to stand?
Yes.
Because, you know,
But just because she died single doesn't mean she died alone or
It
lonely.
doesn't, and that's what I was gonna say. Like we don't know. Like did she die wishing she had a mate with her, or did she just die? And but she had a slew of friends or a slew of intimate friendships and different things like that. Or whatever. I mean,
Mm.
Eartha
we
Kitt
don't
was a
know.
pimp though.
I,
Oh,
I feel like that
She was
statement
that. She was that
qualifies
lady.
her as
was
Yeah,
she
definite
that lady?
pimp material
yeah.
Was she that
many
lady?
She
times.
was smooth.
Yeah.
That's why she was hollering at Byron. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, and I
apparently
and
keep
I
him
see
on the
because I see
ground.
a lot of people. I see a lot of people saying that they don't need relationships. Now, again, and I know that my language is a little different because when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about a significant a romantic partner.
Hmm.
So and even my book, when people, oh, it's about relationships, and they think it's about how to get a boo, and it's like, well, yeah, that's in there, but that's not what it's about. It's about human relationships, period. So I distinguish between relationships when I say, are you in, if we talk about a relationship versus your significant other, your boo, the beau, the bae, the whatever you want to call it. I feel like we all need that, but I see people saying that they don't need these relationships. I don't need no relationship, or I don't need. Yes, you do. Yeah, you do. That's why you messed
What's
up
wrong
like you
with
are. You need something now, whether that's a significant other boo or whether it's just some friends or something. You need some type of intimate relationship.
So,
I
do you
believe.
think those who say that? I'm really glad you said that because a lot of people say I don't need nobody. I'm good. I would. You hear that all the time. But to peel the layers back, like we always do, um, do you think that people are just fed up with relationships,
Hmm.
or people cannot just work past the past, maybe trauma, or do you think people are suffering from emotional numbness? And I want to share some signs of emotional numbness because I'm sure all of us have experienced some of this at one point or another, right? These are 11 signs from emotional numbness. I'm not that good, so I am going to read it, okay? All right. I don't have it memorized. So, 11 signs you're suffering from emotional numbness. Um, the inability to express strong negative or positive emotions, the inability to fully participate in life, i.e., feeling like you're a passive observer. Number three, feeling that life is like a dream. Number four, living on autopilot. Number five, lack of interest in activities others find enjoyable. Number six, feeling distant from others. Number seven, tendency to withdraw from friends and family members. Number eight, um, no, I wrote that.
Listen, I'm looking like I didn't write nothing.
I
I
typed
don't-
in huge,
Oh,
but because
I'm like, I ain't wrote nothing. Don't do us like that.
You
Carry
wrote that,
on.
Lee?
I did.
Oh,
So it goes to okay.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. All
Woo!
right. I was like, shut it
Look,
down. Shut it down. We're being
I'm
hacked.
like, who in my page right now? Oh my
Oh
god.
man. Okay. Number six. I'll read number six again. Feeling distant from others. Number seven, tendency to withdraw from friends and family members. Number eight, emotions are only felt in the body as sensations, but not by the mind. Number nine, dislike of people who express strong emotions, both positive and negative. Number 10, not feeling anything in situations that would usually generate strong emotion. And number 11, panic or terror when strong emotions eventually break through. Now, I know that was a lot, but that says a lot. And I'll go and I'll even, be vulnerable and say, there are, I don't, all of these don't hit for me, but um, one of these I was reading, I was going to shout though. Um, number six for me, feeling distant from others. Number seven for me, tendency to withdraw from friends and family members. Um, um, Definitely those two I have experienced a time or two in the past or recently in my life.
Mhm.
What do you guys think?
I feel like we're talking about a few different groups of people here. When you said panic and terror, and I'm immediately thinking about people that have been traumatized by failed relationships or abusive relationships or things of that nature. So you got that group of people that are out here trying to connect with people and finding the wrong people or being mistreated by people. Then you have another group of people who are strictly in it for what's in the candy dish. See what I did there?
You
But
did.
there's so many to choose from that they don't have to. They don't have to pick. They don't have to be monogamous. They don't have to compromise. They don't have to collaborate because they got so much out here to pick and choose from. They can eat what they want when they want. Okay.
Mm.
And then you got another group of people that just want to be with somebody because they haven't healed in those areas, or they haven't even taken the time to reflect and see what they need to heal from. They just
Right, right.
out here. They just want to be loved. They want to be with somebody. They want, you know, and the first thing coming looks really good.
Mm.
Hmm. Hmm. Dot.
Mm. Well, in some ways, I can identify with all 11,
Mm-hmm.
probably. You know, because a lot of those things just they creep in. And I do believe that we're dealing with a society of people that are emotionally numb. One of the ways that we recognize that is we don't even allow, I mean, the simplest things. Somebody express sadness or what. We don't want to sit in none of that. Right. So we do everything that we can to distract ourselves from feeling anything because emotions get a bad rap, period. You know,
Mm-hmm.
is people say, oh, they emotional, you know, and it's like, well, all of us are emotional. We're human. But I agree with what you're saying. You got different people at different stages of this or different places. It was one of the last ones that you read. I want to say it was like 10 or 11 or 10, not 11. It wasn't 11. What was 10?
Not feeling anything in situations that would usually generate strong emotion.
No, not that one. Quote 9.
11, 9. Dislike of people who express strong emotions,
No,
both
that wasn't it.
positive and okay.
That wasn't it. 8.
All right. I'm gonna go to 11. No, a panic and terror when strong emotions eventually break through.
Something about automatic.
It's something about automatic. All right, I'm just gonna keep going up. Okay. Um, um,
Autopilot.
autopilot. Okay, that was number 4.
Oh, okay. Way down there.
Way,
Okay.
way,
Way up there.
way up
Way
there.
up there.
Uh
Yeah.
huh. Living on autopilot.
Living on autopilot, which is what I think that a lot of us are at. When I
Hmm.
say us, because I always try to include myself in
Inclusive,
society,
yeah.
because the truth is, any and all of us can be at any of those spaces at any point on any given day. You know, it's a blessing when it's a good day. It's a blessing when it's a day where you feel loving. You know,
Straight,
I
straight.
believe that's really who we are. I
Truth.
do. I truly believe that. And when you feel that, I feel like we had a moment of our reality, of our true self. But it's a blessing when you come across it because we have so many other things around us that is competing for our attention, energy, emotion, you know, whatever, trying to navigate a society that's crazy, trying to navigate all of the things that we've been going through. And I think that, like you said, when you started, before you even read the 11, that a lot of people are just burned out from, they're over it, man. It's like, look, every relationship I get in, it fails. And whether it's your fault or not, whether it's you've done your work or not, whether you've done introspection or not, people get to this place of being burned out. Because sometimes you can look at yourself in the mirror and get tired of your damn self, darn
Hmm.
self.
Hmm.
You know, it's
Hmm.
like I'm sick of
I'm
me.
sick of you.
Yeah, it's like sick of you. I'll find me another church. You know what I mean? Like it's like so. It's like we get tired, just period, from all of the work that you have to do. When you look at how much you have to look at yourself and shift some things, sometimes it gets frustrated. So I think people feel extended. Now, granted, there are people out there that just kind of like don't care and they're whatever. But is that really the truth? Is how I feel. Is that really, really the truth? You know, you walk into a room full of people and everybody's drinking and having fun, but only 3% of the people are actually happy.
Mm.
Right.
You know, so yeah, emotional numbness I think is a real big thing, and people will get into relationships because he will say we're tired of relationships and we're over them, but everything we do has some type of relational aspect to it. So we over relationships, don't want to be with nobody, but we screwing everybody that look good,
Mm.
as if that's not relational. No, we just having sex. Really, you're just having
Hmm.
sex. The things that you do that can actually produce another life, that's just
Mm.
sex, huh?
Mm.
Yeah, whether it's gay sex or straight sex, it still has creative and procreative power to it or procreative energy to it. But we just having fun.
Mm.
But it's a way that human beings relate. But we don't want to make the commitment because somewhere we think we're protecting our heart. But guess what? You're not, because you're still miserable. And some of it I think really comes from y'all go ahead.
No, you know you're already bringing it. You know you're already bringing it. Um,
Already, already.
um, I want to slide into the next portion
Dang, I
because
thought you said my DMs. I thought
I
you
was
was
in your DMs like an hour ago.
Oh, you
Right.
was.
You wasn't even
Yeah.
responding. Um,
But Angel, you had an excellent description of what compromise is to us, and I want to give the description on so you gave an excellent description on what compromise, the true definition of what compromise is. Um, so I'm going to give out what the true definition of compassion is, and it's a trip on how we utilize these words, and we kind of utilize them in a positive fashion and to support or help us navigate through relationships. So, what's the true meaning of compassion?
Uh-oh, because I know. Go ahead.
I saw it. I
You know, I
saw it.
know the true meaning of the Go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
Bryson.
Compassion literally means to suffer
Suffer
together.
with. There
Whew,
we go, baby. There we go. To suffer with.
pity.
Come,
Pity.
meaning together.
Hmm.
Patti, meaning to suffer. Passion is
Hmm.
where we get the
Hmm.
word passion, the passion of
Hmm.
Christ.
Hmm.
To suffer,
Hmm.
to suffer
Hmm.
with. So that comes to coming together to suffer with. That's compassion.
It is defined as the feeling that arises when you are confronted with another's suffering and feel motivated to relieve that suffering. Compassion is not the same as empathy or altruism,
Sympathy.
although the concepts are related,
Nor the same as sympathy.
or sympathy.
Mm-mm,
Mhm.
mm,
Speaketh my geniuses.
See,
Shut.
that's not the relationship people want, though.
Hmm.
mm-mm.
Do you feel me? Because we always say that, oh, you get it. And now listen, I'm not endorsing getting in a relationship and and you're miserable. So I'm not, or it's abusive or anything like that. But we get, oh, this relationship's supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make it's like, really? What, you finna get into a relationship with a real person that's gonna have real issues and real things going on. And if you're waiting for them to get those things together, then you may be waiting forever for any type of relationship. We have this idea that you can't, people always say you can't get in a relationship until you healed. That's a lie.
That'll be
Actually,
never. That'll be
it would be
never.
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 Sometimes the way you heal is in a relationship. Now, again, I'm not endorsing jumping into something too quick or, whatever. And again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship,
Hmm.
but there's numerous, all of our research, the way that we're designed as human beings, we heal and we become and we grow in relationships. There's sometimes some things that you all can see in me that I don't even see in me, some areas that you can speak to in me that I don't even, I could feel like I'm, not sexy. And we know that ain't the truth. But
You right, Fran. You is right.
see what I'm saying
You
now? I feel
certainly,
better.
you certainly can
You
feel that way.
you
Yes.
you heal something in me sometimes when you say that's all you see in you. You don't see this part of you that it makes you have to look at yourself in another way and say, wow, this week my mind has really been centered around what is it like? And I want to ask all my friends this: what is it like being on the other side of me? When you look at me, what is it like being on the other side of me? You know what I mean? It's like, because
I
you
was
all carry something that will help to heal me, but we don't want to get in relationships where this person ain't healed, they ain't whatever, and you know,
I'm still waiting on that call back from last week.
ooh.
you
So
need to get healed.
You
Now, why is you got to bring up old stuff?
you asked me what did I see? I see my phone ain't right. That's what I see. Um, one thing I want to say, and I know this is real. This is real unpopular. I know it. I know it is. And don't DM me about this, okay? Um,
You
Oneness,
said this is real popular or real unpopular?
unpopular.
Okay,
This
okay,
is
okay,
unpopular.
okay.
Unpopular belief.
Uh-huh.
Oneness or becoming one um, is not exclusive to marriage, even though we were taught that. But it's not exclusive to marriage because anytime we know that anytime you share your body with somebody, you are absorbing everything that they are, some even into your DNA. That's one. But I truly believe that when you share space and time with people intimately, that you're becoming one with those people as well. This thing that happens is not exclusive to marriage and that covenant, because we have a covenant with each other as friendships and relationships that happen automatically. It's organic. It's something that happens because we're human, because we're spiritual as well. It happens when you're sharing space and time intimately with somebody else. That oneness takes place. So it is ridiculous to think that we could connect with somebody just physically, as LeAnzar was pointing out, and there's no relation that takes place. It's ridiculous. It's not even physically or spiritually possible. It happens organically when you enter into those spaces. Your body is a sacred space. Your home is a sacred space. Your bedroom is a sacred space. Your emotions and your trauma is a sacred space. And whenever you're allowing somebody else to enter in, oneness takes place,
Mm.
regardless of if you intend that to happen or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Separation is an illusion anyway. The idea of separation is really an illusion. We're all, and when we come into that oneness that you're talking about, it's just a remembering. It's a reminder. It's it's a physical manifestation of something that already spiritually exists. And like you said, it becomes even more intense or more effective or effective when we do come together in those ways. Again, putting our energies together in that kind of way. But I mean, people want, people feel other kind of ways about it, but
Hey, Jay, we are the unpopular people.
And common
Sharing
sense,
these opinions.
common sense ain't always common. So, I
Jay said
want
something earlier. I'm sorry. I didn't want to neglect his comment because it was
he
heavy.
say he thought this was common knowledge. Shoot, it's common knowledge to people who actually take time to really search their soul.
and this is good, Jay. This comment you made. Y'all want me to read it?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
because I
All
don't
right.
read well.
You don't, Fran. We often place deep emphasis on ourselves in relation to our wants and needs. We ask philosophical and essential questions about whether we were intended to be social, partnered, isolated, introverted, etc. I've found most often that whatever conclusion a person arrives at, they often lack the commitment and dedication to actually follow through. It just ends up being a want cake and eat cake scenario.
Mm,
Mm,
mm.
All
mm.
right, thank you guys for tuning
Hey,
in. This has been a great show because
hey.
Jaden did it. Jay did it. We hope you've
Wow,
learned something.
that
Go
last
share
line. Go back for a second. That
the
I found that line.
I
I,
found I found most often that whatever conclusion a person arrives at, they often lack the commitment, dedication to actually follow through. That's what got me right there. That's what got me. I'm gonna read it again for the people in the back. Put it back up, friend. Sorry. Um, I found that most often that whatever conclusion a person arrives at, they often lack the commitment and the dedication to actually follow through. Because it's a dream. Like the other thing said, the emotional numbness is like a dream.
I don't think there's anything to us that's supposed to move us to arriving at a conclusion. We are constantly evolving, supposed to be constantly evolving into better, healed, more relatable people.
Can you put that up again just so the
You
people in the
have
back can read it? You keep
you have
talking though. You keep talking.
concluded. How do you conclude with only half of your life gone that you know I'm supposed to be isolated. I'm supposed to be introverted. I'm supposed to be, you know, whatever. How do you decide that? How do you decide that at 40 something else when you have 40 something else more years to live? And you might change your mind, just like we were talking about Eartha Kitt earlier. You know, was she happy if she died single? Was she happy? You know, or was she regretting that interview? You know, because at the time and space she was asked those questions, she was in a different time and space. Was she regretting her decisions, or did she die happily single? Like, you know,
But it's also like we're trying to, in some of these conclusions that we make, like even with the question that what he stated there, like we're trying to, like you said, not even having the commitment or dedication to follow through with some of this stuff, and the two sides to this. But it's like almost like we're trying to not be natural. We're almost trying to not be the way we were designed to be. I don't need nobody, and or I want all these people, but I don't have the commitment to really do whatever to follow through with all these people, or I don't need none of these people, but I still don't have the commitment to even go with that. Because
mm-hmm.
everything you're at the very core of our being, we were designed this way. We were made this way. Even the fact that you cry over somebody hurting you is a design. You were designed that way. You, I don't want to say you're supposed to cry. You're supposed to get hurt. But what I'm saying is the way, otherwise, us being made as relational beings, and I'm probably not saying this the right way, it wouldn't mean anything. So okay, you have your earliest memories of relationships, and somebody has done you well, right? They've done you well. They've loved you. You remember those people forever. But guess what? You also remember the ones that hurt you and harmed you by design. That's the way we're made. This is why we need to treat each other in ways that can be a positive remembrance versus just a negative. And this is why y'all always hear me say the messages to everybody when I'm saying, love, or if I'm saying, hey, I really believe whatever. And again, I'm just offering it as this is what I've come to based on thinking, sitting with myself and listening to God, listening to the God in me, whatever. It's like, this is a suggestion. I say it sometimes it may come out like a rule, but it's like, no, I'm really just offering us to look at this. Just look at this. We're relational beings. And what can we do to get to the point of dedication and follow through with whatever these little conclusive thing? And again, like you say, it's not really at the end of the day conclusive, because we're constantly growing, or we're constantly moving, or unless we get like me sometime and you can be stubborn and be like, I'm done.
I want to shout out Chrissy, Jay, and Merrick for their amazing input. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are watching Candy, Compromise and Compassion. We have Angel Simmons and LeAnzar Stockley. I'm Brysen, um, Sweet Spot Media. So, for those who are just catching up and tuning in, this is some heat on here, Jack. This is some real, real, real. Um,
I really like that question that Lee put out. What's it like being on the other side of me? I really like that question. I have a friend I was hanging out with earlier today who he's very good at pointing out, this is who you are, or this is how you act, or this is how I see you. I don't even have to ask that question. But he's real good at pointing out stuff and makes me think about what I've said, because he don't forget nothing. Don't forget nothing I say. But I was making a comment about something I didn't like, and he was real quiet, and he followed it up with, you know what? Um, you don't like people. You don't like vegetables. You don't like going outside. You don't like people coming to your house. What do you like? It was interesting because everything he pointed out was probably something we had had a conversation about at some point in time. But just think about people that don't know you quite as well to know that there's another side to that, and this is what they see. They
And
see
that's
you're complaining, or they
ah,
see
ah,
Yeah, they see they see
Mhm.
the negative energy you putting out, and they don't get the sweet, they get the sour.
And
Mm-hmm.
I was finna say that, like, and I think we all probably are guilty if we can get on our soapboxes with things of this, that, the other. It's as if we're all living in a defense. So when people can name more about what you don't like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
versus what you like, and the reason
Mm-hmm.
that we're explaining so much of what we don't like is because we're defending.
Mm-hmm.
There's something we've put up something to say. I'm not going to put up with your. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like green. I don't like purple. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
blue. I don't like orange. I don't like yellow. I can't stand brown. And so now they can give a comment. They can give a whole
Mm-hmm.
dissertation about everything that you don't like. So then the question is, well, what do you like? It is people experience us. We are living epistles, and I don't mean
Mm.
that
Come
as
on,
in a
Epistle.
biblical kind of, just like as a religious way, but
Well,
we're books. We're people experience you. So when they experience you, what are they really experiencing? Because we have our idea of what we're trying to give, but what are they actually getting when they come into the? And it's just a question that I think we have to ask periodically. What is it like being on the other side of me? Because I think I'm loving. I may not be super affectionate or this is that and the other, but it's like I think I'm loving in the decisions that I make. But how do you feel on the other side of that? A wise person would listen. A fool would just say, "No, you a fool."
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mm.
All of this, all of y'all go ahead. I'm
That's
taking
a great
notes.
challenge for this month to ask somebody
It really is. I mean,
what is it
and to
like being
sit.
on the other
It
side
if you
of
really want to be your best and most accountable self, and it's hard. It's probably hard because again, we have our idea of us. And this is what, and I think we need it. We need to hear it because I can say, and even to talk about Jay for a second. That's my bro. That's my brother. One of my best friends in the whole world. You know, but I know there's certain ways that he sees himself, and certain ways he may see me, that we may see each other totally like, bro. No, I think you the best thing since sliced bread. Now I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel that necessarily about myself, but he may see something that how he experiences me that is that, or he may see something that says, "Oh, you're a little closed off sometimes."
Mm-hmm.
Now I may not think I'm closed off because I say just about everything to him. But it's like to ask somebody, "Hey, how do you experience me?" Because again, we can be blinded by our. I think somebody called it. Old friend of mine used to call Jabari's. Is that Jabari's window or I don't know. I have to look it up and see, but I think it's something like where you experience you, but the way Angel experiences me, the way Bryson experiences me, it could be, I don't want to say 100% different, but it could be it's a different perspective, or it may be a different sensing, a different feeling, and some of that feeling may come from some of the things in you. When LeAnzar says this, it touches me here. LeAnzar don't know it because I don't know that part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we experience each other in all kind of ways. And even like with this topic, compromise and compassion, it's like I really don't want to have somebody with me that has to do a lot of compromising, not in the sense of feeling like they're conceding. But I do want somebody that says, listen, I want to have a compassionate relationship. I know that when I get in a relationship with you, that there's gonna be some things that I need to be compassionate. I want you to be with me. I want you to be with me in whatever it is that I'm facing because I want to be with you in whatever it is that you're facing. That's part of me making a commitment to people. It's saying, listen, whether you show up today happy or whether you show up today tripping, I'm with you. Now, I'm not saying be abusive to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And exerting whatever on me and all of your whatever. But it's like, I'm here with you. If you need some help, I can't fix your life for you, but I'll walk with you. I'll support you because that's really the real reason for relationships.
hmm
We think it's to get our rocks off, and that's a part of it.
mm.
But I mean, ain't nothing like getting your, but, but that's it. That's an entity. That's an element. That's an element of it. But a lot of it is so that we can all come into this sense of oneness. And when I say oneness, I also mean wholeness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He has a good
Chris,
question.
she does. She does. We were right on target. When was the turning point for y'all when you started to put up those? boundaries, walls, and only to show certain people the real you? That's a question for us, Chrissy. That's for them.
When was a turning point for y'all when you started putting up those boundaries? Um, and me personally, boundaries
I got a church
to
now.
only show certain people the real you. I think sometimes I'm probably
That ain't even
some
real
of
community.
the exception to some of the rule of that, or some of that rule, because I've gotten to a place, not that I have boundaries, and I guess maybe you could say it's certain things that I don't may not show. I feel like I'm always showing the real me. Now, some people don't get far enough to understand the real me, or get deep enough to really intimate enough to actually learn all of that. If I'm making any sense, um, but I don't show up in very many situations phony at all. So the real me always shows up. Now, there's a real me that recognizes, okay, I'm in school right now teaching students, versus I'm at home right now playing with my bow. Some people ain't gonna get that,
Mm-hmm.
but each piece was real. I've made a commitment to myself to show up real in every situation I'm in, because I can't be nobody else. Now, I didn't do that all my life, so I guess the turning point for me maybe was right before I wrote the book Identity Crisis, 2009 ish, and I've suffered for it to a certain degree, but you know, and I don't know if that answers the question.
Hmm.
That was good.
I think one turning point for me, there's two that came to mind almost immediately reading the question. But when I lost my brother in 2000, I spent I want to say 7 years um, in that hole we were talking about on the last show, the little dark hole
Hmm.
where you just, with your pain and with your, you just with your shit and
I got
you
distracted
down
because you
by
said
yourself.
whole. Sorry, you said whole, and I just read Merrick's statement about that. It is a great part of it.
Oh, my
When he
goodness.
was talking, I just
In
kind of got
the dark hole of,
well.
you know,
Well, now,
emotional
Usually
disturbance.
not light down
Okay.
there.
Disturbance,
Okay.
that one. But I spent about 7 years, by myself trying to manage my emotions, and I did not do a very good job of it at all. My brother passed around the same time as supposed graduation from college, and finding a job, and doing new things, and I didn't want to do nothing at that point because I felt like I was, managing the emotions of my family as well, and it was just a lot. But I spent 7 years being angry and bitter, and fighting for my life, and only a couple of people were privy to that space, and I didn't like me, so I most certainly know they didn't like me in that space, and we're having conversations on the slide about, what's going on, or maybe you should try to get her to talk to somebody. I know some of them conversations probably happened because there was a lot going on. Um, the other point, when I lost my car a few years ago, I had been at everybody's everything, every event, every show, every concert, every choir performance, every housewarming, baby shower, whatever. I didn't just buy a ticket. I bought a VIP ticket. I bought a box seat. I got the package with the book or whatever. And when I lost my car, I didn't hear nothing
Mm.
from a whole lot of them
From
people.
other people. Hmm.
Um, not do you need anything? You need groceries, you got food at the house, nothing, none of that. If somebody invited me somewhere and I said I can't go out, I ain't got no wheels right now. It was nothing after that. Well, you want me to come get you, or I can send you an Uber. It was none of that. And that kind of changed my whole perspective on friendship and who has access to me, and the fact that I can't get my time back. And then it was, maybe 2 years after that, COVID hit. and I was still at home. So it was a lot. It was a lot to manage in thinking who has access to your intimate spaces and who is utilizing your time and what are you getting from it. Are these relationships reciprocal or not? It was a lot that I had to reevaluate in those two particular seasons. So you want to talk about boundaries and walls? Those would be my benchmarks for boundaries and walls. I hope that answered your question.
And there's a difference between boundaries and walls, right?
Mhm.
Boundary. I used to say a difference between a boundary and a barrier. Um, Boundaries, because the boundaries in things teach us how to. Let's use sports for example, and as if I know sports, you
Yeah,
know.
I
So
was, I was
like when when you're playing baseball and you make the basket.
you know what?
So so
When you
ba-
when you're playing baseball and you score a
and you make it
touchdown,
and you score right when you're playing baseball, you score the touchdown. It's like the boundary lines are there to help you play the game right, to show you how to play the game. Because if you're running all down the street, this game ain't finna be that much fun. If you can literally go to anywhere in the doggone stadium and outside the stadium, it's now no longer being played the proper way. Our boundaries are there not really to keep people out or to keep whatever, it's to relate well. It's just so that we relate well. Now, our walls is generally like this armor that we put on, and it's like
Hmm.
nobody's getting in. But here's the thing: when you got that, nobody gets in or out.
That's right.
So
You
whether
know
you
what?
holding up this wall or not, ain't nobody getting in or out. It does not serve us. And people do that in the name of guarding their heart. Baby, your heart was created. You are not guarding your heart by putting armor around it. You think you are, because I'm going to protect myself from ever getting hurt, or these people don't deserve me, or don't none of us deserve mm, any, whatever. That's why I don't use the word. When we talk about relationships, I very rarely use the word deserve, unless I'm proving a point to say you deserve to be slapped. But if we based our relationships off of our deserving, we all would deserve something negative because we step on each other's toes all the time. Or, like you were saying, how being on the other side of me, I may think I'm doing everything wonderful. And you're not feeling it that way because I didn't recognize that I stepped on your toe. So now I don't deserve, I no longer deserve the space in your heart. Compassion, that piece of compassion of this whole candy thing, like I really think, and I don't know different ways to really say that, but it's like I really feel like that's what needs to be the disposition of our heart when we're talking about being in relationship with humans, period, because you're going to run into some people that got stuff going on, or you're going to run into some people that may not even have the worst red flags, but it may trigger something in you because you got something going on. And we have to make that
hmm
commitment to say, I'm going to be compassionate with you. Me and my beau we did a vision statement for our relationship, and I don't know where it's at right now. I put it on my website somewhere, but part of it is to, if I'm just kind of paraphrasing a lot of it or whatever, it's really to be with one another, to be emanations of God with and for one another, not being God, but saying, I'm here to walk with you through your, I am we. So I'm here to walk with you through your stuff. I need you to be here to walk with me through my stuff. Otherwise, what is this relationship but a bunch of good sex and a few good trips and whatever? What happens when real life happens?
hmm
And we want the shiny relationships, the sweet candy relationships, but we don't want the real life when real life happens.
when you get sugar diabetes from the candy.
When you done got sugar diabetes, when you done got the sugar diabetes. Will you
Chris,
be my insulin?
will you be my insulin?
Mm.
Will you be a cup of orange juice? Will you
Come
be my
on. Will
Tropicana?
you give me some of that church candy when I start having one of the diabetic comas?
I just ate mine. Chrissy says, I'm finding that as I'm getting older, 40 something else, we're all in the same boat.
Word.
Um,
Who?
few,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm a read. Yep, read. Fewer people understand the real me, and I'm making myself less vulnerable because I've been burned way too much.
And here's the thing, and this is one thing that I've recognized. Sometimes people, and I totally the burned way to that's I think that's our stories. How you were saying earlier, people are just kind of like, whatever. So then we find ourselves shutting ourselves off. So then they don't really get to know the real us. But then at the same time, we can't complain that nobody knows the real us if we're not showing the real us.
Yeah.
People have asked me why am I so transparent with the Facebook thing and the, whatever. I said some of that folks is for me. I had a friend say to me that he didn't realize that I had problems. That bothered the hell out of me. It bothered
Mm.
me because I'm like, how do you not think I got problems? You walk with me every day, so either I'm doing something wrong and covering up and not showing it, or you ain't paying attention. And I
Mm.
didn't want to take the thing of you're just not paying attention. I had to say I need to expose more. I know that I'm to myself.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert for
Yeah.
one, and I also know that I kind of keep to myself. I've always been the kid to sit over in the corner and I watch everybody. Nobody, even in my family, a lot of times they don't know a lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
me. They know my
Same.
demeanor, they
Same.
may know my personality, but they don't. There's questions they ain't never asked me.
Mm-hmm.
So if we never expose the real us, we can
Mm-hmm.
never complain that we don't feel loved.
Mm-hmm. Or
We
don't
can
feel
never
seen
complain
or
that
don't
we
feel
don't feel
heard.
seen. Yeah, it's like
Mm-hmm.
a catch 22 because yes, you
Mm-hmm.
can get hurt because you've been hurt. This is the reason you went into a crab shell, right? Well, we became hermits. It's the reason we went into that shell. But the caveat, the crazy part about it is if we stay in there and never come out, nobody's gonna know us. And we were designed to be known, seen, known, loved, and accepted. Everybody ain't gonna do it,
Mm.
but that's how we were designed. And if that's
Mm-hmm.
not happening, we're going to have a hard time thriving. You can
Mm-hmm.
love yourself all you want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel her. I feel Chrissy though, because it's like
I feel all of that.
yeah, it's like we've been burned and we've been whatever, and that's the part that grieves my heart so much. Those are the things that I wake up with tears in my eyes about. Honestly, I'm like, I I I I speak this message of relationality and all of this whatever, but I know people are hurting. I know people have been done wrong. I know, and sometimes I feel like I'm setting them up by saying, "But you got to still be you, baby. You
Mm-hmm.
got to still align." As I feel like I'm setting them up because I know that there's a world that's going to chew them, that's going to take advantage of it. But honestly, that's the only real answer to all of this stuff that we're in. Somebody got to have the balls. Somebody got to have the galls to be courageous enough to be who you were designed to be, not to be covered up with all of this extra armor and stuff like that, man. And this is, I really feel like people may feel like this is not related, but that's how we start ending up in all this compromise
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and feeling like whatever is because we're now settling for some. Angel was talking about one of the definitions with standards. We're now we're lowering the standard. Believe
Mm-hmm.
this or not, and I hope y'all can understand this. Even when you done raise the standard so high that people can't get to you, you've lowered the standard of human design. You've
Mm.
lowered the standard of human creation. You've lowered the standard of human nature because you've thought of yourself more highly than you ought to. It's pride in the reverse. Okay. All right. To feel that we got to be way up here and to feel that we are way down here, both of them are out of alignment.
That's narcissistic.
Mm.
Pound. Everything goes full circle. It just goes full circle. Let it.
Hashtag
Give it.
narcissistic.
Give it time. Jay says, I used to feel like I was being constantly slighted or burned by those I cared about and loved. However, when I began to learn how to practice proper discernment, introspection, I realized that I was being very neurotic and narcissistic. These the situations I was taking personally had little or nothing to do with me.
Probably had everything to do with them
Mm-hmm.
and where
That's
they
real
were.
transparent, Jay. Thank you.
Mm.
Probably had a lot to do with where they are. And sometimes
Hmm.
we take it personal. We do take it personal. And I'm
We
trying to get
we
to the place
absorb
to
other
say,
people's mess all the time.
and we do because here's the thing, because you feel affected,
Hmm.
and I think that that's maybe the thing is like we take it personal, and maybe there's a difference between taking it personal versus saying I'm affected.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I actually feel affected, but I don't need to take it completely personal because, yeah, they're not faithful to me because they ain't faithful to nothing.
Because they're not faithful to themselves.
They're not even faithful to themselves. Yeah. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's not always that, oh, they just don't like you. They haven't learned self-control in it on their own self. So that's the reason that they don't have self-control when it comes to you. And they need everything to stimulate them in order to stay with you.
See, now you're talking about character, people's character.
Yeah. And
And
we all suffer from, I'm a creature of desire. I have to be intentional about not just being led by my desires. I will hurt you.
mm,
I will hurt people if I'm completely lit. And I got sense enough to know that. I'm sorry. I know this is why I have to say I am love for you, because sometimes I don't want to be bothered.
mm, mm,
But it's hard.
wow,
It's hard when people do that. I do take it. I and I'm working on it because I do take it personally.
wow.
Actually, Jay had to get me together sometimes because I'm like, he's like, bro, don't, it's like, because I do. I'm a feeler. I'm a whatever, and then it makes you, if you're done wrong relationally, sometimes it'll start speaking. And I do these support groups, and I'm looking at how certain things that have happened relationally make people question their own self-worth. It's so
Mm-hmm.
crazy how it
Mm-hmm.
happens. And it's like, no, your worth ain't even shifted. Your worth ain't even changed. You just as worthy in the eyes of the creator as you ever were day one. But when certain things happen to us, sometimes we start to question ourselves. Somebody's cheating on us. It must be me. Now, sometimes you might be doing something that, you got to, like he said, introspect and
Listen,
use discernment to see if there is something you're doing where maybe we don't want to have the big enough cojones to, if somebody doing you wrong, for us to align and show them what love looks like. We just want to leave.
It's
or
heavy though. It's
revenge.
heavy though.
Or it's
Ooh.
revenge. It takes a certain somebody and a certain level of revelation
And
and
strength.
and healedness, because
And healthiness and
healedness,
strength and strengths.
healedness
Come on, word.
to look
He'll
at
did this.
yourself and
Ship.
say,
He'll
I
did this
ain't
ship.
shit.
It does.
So you
It
were
really
talking
does.
about, your desires and having to really hone that in because you know yourself. I had to learn that I was impulsive. I had
See
to
that?
learn that. And it didn't make a difference if I was in a relationship or out of a relationship. It
Come
didn't
on.
make a difference if I left your house or was going that way. It didn't make a difference. I was impulsive. I had to
Impulsive. Come
learn
on.
that because it felt good. Did we talk about this? Things that feel good. I like
Impulsive,
things that feel good.
impulsive, and compulsive. Every
And
single time y'all say candy, I go,
listen, right? I literally closed the bag and put it to the side. Like
don't even gotta think about it.
we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But I had to learn my impulses were part of the reason, why I was getting into trouble. I got cheated on because I was cheating.
Mm, come on. Come
I was
on.
I was out there.
You was fast, friend.
I was fat,
Wait,
girl, fast
you
and
didn't know that?
furious,
You ain't
fast,
know that?
fast. I was the Fast and Furious before they made the first movie.
I heard
But
somebody one time
you
say that
know,
somebody
and
was a hoe. I ain't talking about Angel, but somebody said somebody was hoe, and I was like, "You the best one I know."
terrible. But we have the audacity
Audacity.
to neglect our memory of ourselves when we look at how somebody else is doing us.
Out of
Uh,
convenience. Out of
are you?
convenience
No, he's not. Yeah. What was you doing yesterday?
And self righteousness.
and self
Oh,
righteousness.
absolutely. Let me tell you something. I had so much of that because when you know you look good,
Because yours is justified. See, that's what I'm saying. Like
when
you
you
figured
know
out a
you
way to.
look good and you got the thing, you got the thing going.
Yeah, like
You
Bryson.
have
Mhm.
high expectations, of people doting on you and falling at your feet. And when you used to people falling at your feet and somebody don't fall,
Ooh, listen.
um, so what's wrong with
What's wrong
you?
with you?
What is wrong with you? Because I know I'm that candy. I know what
And
I
then
got.
when
Sorry.
they
See?
don't do that, then you get real shady with
You
them.
get real
Mm-hmm.
And
shady.
they're not even being shady with you. They're just not giving you that ego boost that you're used to.
Because it
Y'all talking about
feels
me?
good.
Y'all talking about me?
Because
Y'all
it
talking about
feels
me?
good. This is what I'm used to, and you ain't giving me that. So let me go find it somewhere else.
Yep.
And
Your
Yep.
en-
whenever you get
your
yourself
energy
together,
ain't right. No, your
whenever
energy
you
ain't
fall like
together.
you supposed to,
We
I'll be
chasing the
back.
compliments. I mean,
I'll
we
be
chasing
back.
the compliments and chasing that
Hmm.
stimulation and chasing the whatever.
Hmm.
And it's natural to us to do so. We like candy. We like the sweet. We like the what I mean. And I think that the more we're honest about that, the more awareness we bring to it, and the more we can now have control over it when we've decided that I don't want to be out there like that.
Power.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's not saying that it becomes easy, but it is saying it's not going to control. It's getting to the place of saying it's not going to control me. I'm going to control it
Hmm.
because we're not operating in self control when we're operating in an impulsion and compulsion, right? We're technically we're being controlled by some type of programming, which can be trauma, just environment or culture or whatever. We're being controlled by programming, not being controlled by the spirit of our being that says, yes, I see that I respond to the 14 people in like it starts to get sexy. The 14 people in my inbox when I'm standing in there in my drawers and my beau ain't saying I look good, but everybody else is like, ooh, ooh, ooh,
Can I be your
ooh,
sugar daddy?
ooh, can I be ooh. And at some
I don't
point,
know.
you
Can you?
you
No.
you're shutting it down, but at some point you start saying, well, why don't this other person see me that way? It starts to feed.
Why he didn't fall?
Ooh, ooh, mm,
Before we get too far, I want to bring up Chrissy's next question. And Chrissy, I want you to know that, like, I noticed that you always say doesn't make sense or am I sounding crazy, something like that. Hey, just
Stop.
drop it. Yeah, just drop it.
Stop.
Chrissy, you're
Put,
completely fine. Angel's
yeah,
crazy and Bryce is crazy.
and that's that on that. So,
And that's that.
whatever you're sharing, don't think that it
That's
doesn't make
that.
sense or that it's inappropriate or nobody's going to understand. We might not understand your whole story, but we want to hear it. So, make sure that you just be comfortable with just putting it out there. I just wanted to say that real quick, but let me read it. There is still much of me that my family doesn't know about me. And when I start to show that side of me, they think I'm not really being me. Me too. You hear me?
Me
Me
too.
too. Can you see?
Me
You see me?
too.
Somebody hashtag me too.
Me
Somebody
Me
put it
too.
too.
in there.
Me
Maybe
too.
maybe we need to practice all of us, because I think humanity needs to do it. Maybe we need to practice instead of all of this. And again, I'm not telling people to be unwise, but instead of all this armor and protection that we're trying to do, maybe and trying to teach people how to treat us, maybe we need to practice actually showing up as ourselves.
And the fact
And
that and the fact that that's an assignment, that has to be an assignment, you know what I
I
mean?
think we're in a dispensation of life and relationships where we're learning to be human again. I really do like
Absolutely.
to be divinely human. We're having
Yes.
to learn how to have conversations. We're
Yes.
having to learn how to treat each other.
Yes.
We're having to learn how to identify with our own feelings. You ask
Yes.
people how they feel, we don't even have feeling words anymore.
Hmm.
We say what we do. I asked that question a while ago
You
on
did.
Facebook, and
You
I
did.
said something about how do you feel if
You
somebody
did.
whatever, and people answer with actions.
Hmm.
It's like, no, how do
Hmm.
you feel? But
Hmm.
we've shut something in us has been shut down. I think we're having to relearn or remember the soul.
Hmm.
And so it's like we need to start with I'm gonna come and show up as the real me. This is not saying outside of wisdom, you don't go stick your hand in a lion's mouth. We get it. But to show up as we are and believe in the goodness, because you're gonna run into some people that ain't gonna be the good people.
And see
Hmm.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, and even going back to Jay's comment, we have to also make sure we're using discernment. These people that you're sharing your story and your life with, these are not all people that need to have access to that
Exactly.
information.
It
So
ain't
if
for
Well,
you
it
everybody.
depends.
know, when you
Well, it also
know,
depends on what that information is, because what you're gonna get from me is I'm going to be me, right? That don't mean I've told you all my business.
hmm
But if I'm an oak tree, I can't show up to the party as a peach tree. I'm an oak tree. So I have
absolutely.
to come as an oak tree. Now, If you're pissing
Mm-hmm.
on me as an oak tree, I may have to go in and leave. All right. But I showed up as me. I need to be able to live this life as me so that you can see who's going to respect who you are or respect what you are. And then when you see they just ain't, then it grieves
And
me that
that's
I
the
I,
part.
I gotta exit.
That's the
Yeah.
part when you see that they ain't. I think most people, just thinking about family, because she said
Mm-hmm.
family. Just thinking about family. Most of us know our family. We know them to an extent of what we share and what we don't, what we can say and what we don't. We know their moods when they come in the room. Ah, shit, she been drinking today. We know these things, you know, and we have to. I think sometimes we have to better manage our need for intimacy in every space versus putting it in its proper space.
Lee, what are
That
you
makes
doing
sense.
to that Twizzler?
Yeah, I'm not
It got
trying not to even
it
watch him
has
just listen.
it got some stuff in the middle.
Oh, see
It
there,
got
that's
it got the cream in it. It got
extra.
like
That's just extra. I'm gonna cut your camera off in, in a minute. But I think we have to. That's part of the discernment. You know this. You know these people, and you know their character. Um, Managing your need for sharing everything, or managing your need for intimacy in spaces that aren't intimate. I think there's a responsibility to that we
or
have to
for
own
people.
that we
So
have
what
to
you're saying?
own up to.
So what you're saying is people who actually can't handle that level
No,
of
they can't.
intimacy.
And
Mhm.
when we're talking about family in general, or even in some of your friendships, we know where to go. We know who not to go to.
That's
Right,
But
right,
true.
because
right,
we've
right,
That's
been
true.
so
right,
hurt, so
right.
traumatized, so burned, we want to. We want to share. We want to give out. We want to do this, and it's like that's not the space for that, or those
But
aren't the people for that. And we have to be able to discern that so we don't get further traumatized. And I was trying to be vulnerable, and this is what happened with
Mm-hmm.
what
hmm
I
Mm-hmm.
shared. You knew
Mm-hmm.
when you went
hmm
in there that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the space for it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that
Lord,
and I think that like you said, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that
mhm,
comes with like what you're saying is it is because there's the people that you know. But see, for me, I no longer now. Okay, how can I put it? There's certain friends that I know I can go to with certain things,
that
right?
right there,
And
you know
but I
that.
don't make the other ones no longer my friend.
That is no,
It's
we're
just
not
saying
saying that.
that ain't the friend you go to. I can't go to well, y'all both is just famous and balling, but I can't go to my friend John, who and it's just a shallow example. I can't go to John to borrow $1,000 when John don't even got a job. But that don't mean John ain't my friend. It just means that I can't get that from him,
Hmm.
right? Because he's not at that space. He's not at that level. I need to go to Jay because he balling. You know what I
Come
mean?
on, Jay,
You know what I mean?
ball.
So it'd be like, bro, let me hold or something. I need
I
six
mean,
dollars and 20 cents. You know
Cash
what I
app
mean?
me,
Yeah.
money sign Bryson 007. If God put it on your spirit, dollar sign Bryson 007.
right.
Right. Yeah. But it's like it's knowing the capacity that a certain person has. Because there's certain things that I don't take that like if I go certain things I don't take to some of my friends because I know something and it's all this comes though, Angel, with we have somewhere we have to know the person.
Hmm.
But if nobody ever shows where they are, who they are, what we're gonna constantly be in
That's
situations
right.
where we're hurt, harmed, abused. I want to be, and I tell people all the time, I need you all to know my heart because I know my actions may not always translate the same way in how you read it, or especially like in the world today, it's so many things that are changing. I don't know. I made this slight joke about I'm he, him, and his you know, I don't know what to call people these days. So if I say the wrong thing,
Mm,
please know that was not an offense. Like that was not me trying to be offensive. My heart is not that. I'm not that dude.
Right.
But if you don't know that about me, you may take whatever. So it's like I try to
right.
present this is who I am on a good day. Listen, I'm not telling you that I some things get on my nerves. So just as much as I can be loving, I can also be whatever. Or just as much as I talk about relationship, I'm also an
Mm-hmm.
introvert. I'm not always around people. I don't even feel I feel awkward sometimes around
You need
people.
to call
Yeah.
people back.
Yeah.
So
You
we
know,
know
always seems to
You know what?
be
But and that's a great example because you know what's also
something in the
interesting? Do
past.
I ever call anyway?
Exactly.
Do
He
you know what I
showed
mean?
that.
It's like I
But at
very
least call
rarely
back, but
now.
anyway.
Now I text some folks and be like, "Hey, I'm thinking about you,"
Too
or you know
much.
what? But do I? Now that doesn't mean I should stay that way. I'm not saying to be a butthole about it, but it is saying you kind of know it. So to the degree where it's like, oh, I'm not really offended if he didn't call me back or if he didn't whatever. Because I told somebody, listen,
Absolutely.
sometimes I genuinely didn't see a call. If I don't see it, then it's like I'm not gonna because I don't really ignore people unless I'm like, oh, I ain't finna answer this phone right now because I'm finna go do such and such, such and such,
Because you're already
and
doing such and such, such and such.
I'm already doing such and such, and
Mhm.
I know that when I talk to, let's say, Angel, we're not finna talk for 3 minutes. This ain't finna be a 3 minute conversation. So now I could pick up and say, "Girl, let me call you back," but no, because that's gonna go into
That
wait. Let
take
me
too long. I
that
can't
take
even. I
yeah
don't even do that. I don't even
yeah.
do that.
But you know what I'm saying? So it's like I think we have to
It's a
know each
lot.
other, and when we do know each other, I think we have less offense with each other. We're able to have more compassion towards each other, even those people who are not at the space yet where they can handle all of this intimacy we got.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not holding anything against you. I just know that I can't really give this to you right now. I
Right.
can't give you this
Right.
because I know what you're gonna do with it. And that's gonna actually make me feel some kind of way, or it's gonna trigger something in you that I'm really not even trying to trigger.
Absolutely.
You
And
know,
even
but
in
I do
even
think
in
we need to really show up all the time as us,
right. And even
all the time.
in talking about that responsibility, something else I thought about uh just because Jay got the money, there's also a responsibility to that
Oh, let me check my
relationship.
cash app
With
real
that
quick.
relationship, so we just gonna put it out there, Jay. But there's a responsibility to the relationship to know what he's doing with it.
Mm.
Cause think
And to
back to
not
when I was
violate it.
saving for my car.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
paid cash for my car. You knew I had. You knew I had. I got a couple of thousand for you, but you're not gonna ask me for it because you know.
right.
You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? It was the same when we were writing books. When people knew your
Yeah,
book was gonna drop, I gotta order 500 of them.
right,
Then
right.
that's what I'm gonna do with it. So you're not gonna overextend that relationship, even though that's a space where I could ask. I know what he's doing with it. Or I know he's saving for something. I know his son is in college. I know
And I know he's
Bryson
not
has a
obligated to have to give it
and
to
he's
me.
not, but
That part.
I'm not
Hmm.
going I'm not even going to offend him by asking or
Hmm.
potentially offend him by asking because he knows that I know. I know Bryson got a trip coming up. I'm not gonna ask her to borrow 500. I know she'd give it to me any other Monday, but Moist Mouth Monday, she got somewhere to be.
She got
You
somewhere to
know,
be
so,
almost, man.
so I'm not gonna ask her on this particular Monday. But we have to be conscious,
Oh
even in our
man.
relationships. That's part of your responsibility to know what space
That's
your
that get
people
to.
are in.
That's
So
that get
these
But
are
to it
my
moment.
intimate people. This is where I can do all that, but I can't do that here because of this, or here because, or not this week because of that. And we have to know that. We have to know
Hmm.
that.
I want to yes, to both of y'all. I want to, before we close out, I definitely want to Chrissy, I appreciate your transparency, like for real.
Me too.
Everybody, but Chrissy, I really appreciate how you share, and I want to make sure we address this, and then LeAnzar and Angel, I would like for you to tie in your closing remarks with Candy, compromise, and compassion, because what we think compromise and compassion is a totally different thing according to Webster's or Google. So because of my trauma of the past, my learned behavior was just to smile and keep my mouth shut because of the fear of being alone. That's why the people closest to me don't know me. As I'm getting older, I realize that I used to be a very codependent person in relationships, and I'm not that person anymore. And trying to show that too close, I'm sorry, and I'm not that person anymore. And trying to show that to those close to me has been a challenge. Sorry, that was a challenge for me to read. Everything was correct on your end, Chrissy, but the tongue was. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to respond, address that. first. Lee,
I think it's
with your creamy Twizzlers.
I think it's a challenge too because people know us as they know us,
Mhm.
right? So even if you presented this new you or the true you,
The true you.
Mhm.
sometimes it's rejected because like, but that's not who. And I'm not saying they say this every. I don't know Chrissy's family directly, but just conceptually, that's not who we. That's not who we want you to be,
That's
or
not what
that's
they're
not who we know.
comfortable with.
That's not who we're comfortable with you.
Oh,
That's not who we're comfortable with you being, or that's not who we used to you being. And again, that's not to be taken as malicious on their side. If all I've shown you, or if all I've been able to show you, or if all I've been in front of you was a peach tree,
come on,
I
peach
have to
trees.
give the space to know, okay, this is going to take a while for you to recognize I really was never that tree. I
Come on.
was always
Woo!
I was always an oak
Yes.
tree. Who I hoped to be was always me. But for some
Yeah.
kind of way, for some reason, for whatever reason was trauma or whatever, I shied away. I dimmed my light. I hid away because I was afraid to be what I really am, or was rejected when I showed who I really am. So I kind of was. So what I'm saying is we got to deal with each other in grace, and grace don't mean excuse people's behavior. Yeah,
Sure,
I'm not
sure,
saying that, but
sure.
I'm just saying to recognize everybody's not necessarily being malicious. They're conditioned. They're conditioned to a system, conditioned to the programming of their own, conditioned to wanting things their way and having it their way and thinking they know it all in their own self-righteousness and their own, but also conditioned by it's what we brought to the light. We didn't bring the other pieces to the light, regardless of what our reason was. It could be a very valid reason. We didn't bring that to the light. So that's not what they saw. But it's time now. It's time now, whatever that may be. And it may mean I'm bringing it to the light, but you ain't going to receive it. So I get that we can't have the relationship that I would love to have with you, you know, but I'm bringing it to the light, baby,
Mm-hmm.
because this light is
Mm-hmm.
too much. It's too much to hold up under. I don't know why I picked that up, but it's
Okay.
too much. It's too much to keep under, because again, then I'm not living my life. I'm not fulfilling my purpose when I'm living under the bowl. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's a painful. A lot of this is a painful space for a lot of people because we have trauma that's attached to some of these things. But the truth is, we got to suffer through the pain to get to our healing and to change the trajectory of the world. Otherwise, we're gonna feed this same energy into generations to come.
Yeah, yeah,
Relational, and these relationships, man.
yeah,
This is, folks,
yeah.
listen. Honestly, this is all we have. We keep thinking we get. This is all we got. I don't care how much money you got, how much whatever you got. This is really all we. This is our oneness.
Mhm.
So it's really worth us putting into it what we really need to put into it, and not necessarily demonizing everybody
Mm-hmm.
for not understanding us,
Mm-hmm.
demonizing everybody for what you're gonna feel some kind of way about it.
Mhm.
But at the same token, how do we heal from that? How do we get away? How do we get out of that? Because otherwise, we're spewing back the same type of things that was pushed and forced on top of us. I don't want to be a suffocator in this world. I want to be a part of the continued life-giving breath of God. I want to be a breath of fresh air. So what do I have to do to be that?
I think it's safe to say we talk a lot, Lord. Oh, we talk a lot about wearing masks
Oh, the mask reveals the mask.
and and people showing up as their representatives. We talk about a lot of that in relation to relationships, romantic relationships. But I think we have to acknowledge that it happens in our families as well. It's like she was
Mhm.
talking about showing up with a smile on her face. A lot of
Shoot, it
us
happens
show
there
up
first.
a lot. That's where we learn how to do that in the
It
first place. So understand that it is just as traumatic for your family meeting the real you at 40 something else than it was for you to decide to show up as the real you at 40 something else, because they don't know her. They don't know her. Her that talk back, her that gives her
Tired.
opinion, her that say what she thinking, her that wore that outfit, her that they don't know her. They don't know her. They don't know this LeAnzar, who been all over Facebook telling his business and sharing his feelings, and they don't know how to respond to it. They don't know how to respond to it. They don't know how to
They don't know how
receive
to
it.
respond to my hoochie daddy
They
short.
don't know the Lord. Eh,
The
good
fact that
grief.
you be standing
But
on
they
these
don't know
tippy
what to
toes.
say. So it's just as traumatic for them. I mean, and it makes me think about conversations I've had with him, that dude. Um, and it's like you wasn't always like this, and it's like actually I was.
Like
I never
America
that
said.
thing you do. I never liked that. I never liked it.
Mm.
Where we used to eat, I never liked that. I remember when I first started ordering what I wanted to order. This
Or
was
I
this
always liked that, but
this
I didn't want to let you know
this
I
was
liked it that
like
much.
I probably was in my 30s, or it probably was as soon as when I turned 30, I'm gonna do this. I think that's when it happened. But I started ordering what I want. I'm gonna order this burger the way I want to order it, and then you can't bite it. What you got on that burger? Whatever I wanted on it. It was something very simple, but it was a whole fight. Because why you order that? We usually order, whatever, and it's like I've been ordering this all this time this way just so you can bite on my sandwich. But this is how I like my burger.
Right. I want mine with onions.
I
Forget
want
you.
this. I don't want that. I want all this stuff on. I'm tired of just getting cheese and blah 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 blah. It was a whole fight, and it's like this is so simple. I showed up, my representative showed up
Wow.
as someone very compliant
Well,
in what
we
meals we're
spend
gonna share at the table.
we
And
spend a huge portion of our life doing what society, has assigned for us to do, or what our parents or the generations before us has assigned for us to do, and then we spend the last part of our lives trying to live us unapologetically,
And
discovering
unfortunately
and
hurting
living
some
us.
folks. And
Yeah.
unfortunately sometimes hurting some folks as if now you finna live your life as you and you done cut everybody else off because and again sometimes that may be necessary. But I don't know because I'm all about transforming energy. But it's so true what you're saying. Like all of, like it's that first part we're doing, like you said, we're doing. And here's the thing. Here's what we don't want to. Can we admit that even though we did it because we felt we had to, it's manipulation.
yes,
I
absolutely.
was manipulating you.
I, w- I
You may have
wanted
been
you to think
manipulating
I
me
was
too,
sweet
but I was
and compliant,
manipulating you to like me
And that's so
or
that's
to keep
that's
and
the
to
that's
peace.
keep taking me out because I'm gonna order what you want to bite on. You keep
Mhm,
taking me out. You're probably gonna pay for it too. But
mhm.
that's that that right there. That right there. But that was our representative showing up to the family reunion, laughing at them jokes that were inappropriate.
Mm.
And those that's
No,
narcissistic some tendencies. You might not be out full blown, but you got some tendencies.
right.
We all do.
We
Over
do.
here having
We
conversations
do.
about people sitting right across. Just we're compliant.
I just want
We
to know
keep
who
the
made the
peace.
potato salad.
We keep the peace. Right, tasting people food. You know, if you don't tell Auntie Shirley to stop making that damn potato salad, somebody needs to tell her.
And who
All
put the
your life
olives?
you've
Who
been
put the
eating.
olives in the potato salad?
All your life you've been eating Auntie Shirley's potato salad. Ain't nobody told her. It's just too much.
Mustard.
It's just too much. If it was less mustard and no olives, it would be great. And she'd be like, I don't even like olives. My husband used to like olives. That's why I put them in there. I can't stand it. Ugh. Tell the woman.
Oh, I put olives in there because that's how Mama made it.
Right.
Hmm.
Or somebody else used
Generational.
somebody else used
Some
to
things
like
that
it.
we don't even
Generation.
pay
I
attention
don't
to.
even like it. And you've been
One
doing it
thing
all this time.
One thing Angel just said too that I think that is important for us to walk away with, I guess, even in this show, I guess, she said that we keep in the peace. We were never called to be peacekeepers. We were called to be peacemakers.
Whoo! Break it. Break it down. Break it
So it's
down.
like
What
keeping
is
the
the
peace will
difference?
keep you keeping the peace, which ain't really peace sometimes. It's keeping the chaos level down. or whatever. It's just like I'm gonna let things be as they are because I don't want to be the one in the room that raised whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But when we become peacemakers, that requires collaboration. Like
Mm-hmm.
and if they're not cooperating, it
Mm-hmm.
still requires responsibility on you to embody that, to embody what peace really is. Peace is not keeping a lie in the room. So so if I'm not really being me, I'm just keeping the peace, then I'm gonna lie to you about who I really am because I don't want to stir anything up. You
You
know what
don't
I'm
want to
saying? Like
you don't want to disturb the peace.
I don't want to disturb what seems to be like peace. But guess
Mm-hmm.
who ain't at peace?
Me,
So I
me,
haven't even
because I'm lying.
embodied yeah, me,
Your
because
whole
I'm lying.
soul.
And if I really look within my soul, I don't feel right lying to these people. Lying creates psychosis. It puts people in
Mm,
spaces that is not reality.
mm,
Do you want to do that to people? Is that really what you don't want nobody doing that to you?
Right.
So it's like we have to be a peacemaker says to present as we really are and to ask for acceptance. We may not get it, but even if we don't get it, to still embody the energy of what peace is, because it's the fruit of who we really are. It's really the fruit of our spirit, you know. Then to just still be that, even if that means that you finna kick me out, then I'm going to go peacefully,
mm,
But I'm not
mm.
gonna just sit here and live in a lie. That's it, because I just don't want to. I don't want to get grandma. I don't want to make grandma throw a pot at me. I mean, sometimes you do got to kind of choose your words wisely, but I think that there's a difference. We try to be peacekeepers instead of really being peacemakers. Same thing with pleasing people. To be a people pleaser versus being a pleasant person.
Ooh,
Mm,
ooh.
mm.
Two totally different. It's a different energy. It's a
Because
different energy.
there are some people pleasers who ain't pleasant.
Yes. Yes. That's just a manipulator. That's a manipulator. That's also the same thing. Let's go. Since we doing this, this will be our closeout. Since we doing
Annoying,
this, there's a difference between being nice and being kind.
kind. Ah, yeah.
Nice people will do nice can still be a manipulation. Hitler
Mhm.
probably was nice to
Oh,
get
I'm
what he
certain
wanted.
it was.
Narcissistic people are nice
Whoa,
to get what they particularly want until they don't. Kindness
consistently.
is a whole nother kind. I tell people a lot of times I'm really actually not as nice as I am kind. I'm a little bit more
I think
kind.
nice is more of an action, and kind is your character.
Kind is your character that produces action. Yeah. Nice
I,
is a manipulation that we try to to get what we want. It's part of our compulsion and impulse and autopilotness.
Mm.
autopilot miss
Ship
ship ism.
is mm-hmm.
Autopilotness ship is.
Ismology. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm with
yeah.
Merrick. This is good. Yes,
This is good.
yes,
This is
yes.
good. This is
This
good.
right here can help us have wonderful relationships. I don't know why folk don't be but don't listen. Listen. Where Oprah? I, but we make go viral.
Hmm.
Okay, I ain't gonna go there.
Don't go there.
I think what
Don't
we
go
need to
there.
do, and I think what this whole thing is calling for real, is a part two for this.
You in the spirit. Look, she got in the spirit, Angel. Did you see it? She did
I
that
see.
whole, that
I,
whole church
I,
got in the spirit
you
piece
see
like
the light just started glowing on her. See, I
What
was
I,
saying
happened?
that
she
light
did
just
that. She
came
did
through.
that. She did that. Shh,
She
shh,
was
shh.
she was reaching for
I
it.
feel in my I feel.
She's
Mm.
reaching for it. She's reaching for it. See?
When I tell y'all are so on the cusp of taking me out today, like I am trying to hold my peace for real. Y'all are on the cusp of taking me out on this whole live
See,
feed.
because you holding peace and not
Not
making
the
peace.
pimpology.
You're holding peace and you're not making it. Right there. Love it, right?
Everybody that's been on here, you guys are amazing.
They are.
All of your input, all of your transparencies, all of your vulnerabilities, all of your dope energy that you chose to share with us tonight is absolutely amazing.
Wisdom.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And as always, thank you to my two genius friends, LeAnzar Stockley and Angel Simmons. Please go support them. AngelSimmons.com, LeAnzarStockley.com. Go support them. Just look up their website. Look up their website, and you can see how you can support. If you vibe, how they vibe. If you feel in their vibe, this is how you can go and stay connected with them. Make sure you invite one person. Make sure you invite one person. But that's what you do. Actually, they say bring somebody with you.
They do say that.
They do
And
say
you
that.
say that.
They do say that. Um, Thank y'all.
I
Oh,
don't
and
know
I'm
if it worked, but
Bryson.
they say it.
Sweet Spot Media. Y'all could go follow me if y'all want. The original
She's the
Bryson.
guru, the media guru.
Media guru.
Y'all drop your handles and everything.
She said we
Cool.
smart, but she's
No,
spiritually
y'all.
intelligent. She's
No,
spiritually intelligent. So she said we geniuses, but she right there, that's the intelligence. That's the Heba, Ebobo, Bobo.
whoa, coming on a Honda. Tamabotai. Ooh, tamabotai. Tamabotai.
We're going green. Come on a Tesla, cause
Come on, a Tesla.
Come on, Tesla. Come on, Tesla. Oh my goodness.
I
Y'all are
can't with
mad.
y'all.
Mad.
I can't.
Oh,
Well, y'all, we love you
Well,
back, Chrissy. We love you back. LeAnzarStockley.com, AngelSimmons.com, the original Bryson. I guess this is it. This is all. We appreciate it. We are closing out our
excellent.
show, Candy, Compromise, and Compassion. I encourage all of you to go look up and reflect on the
compassion.
definitions, the
Mhm.
Mm.
definitions of compromise as well as compassion. You'll see a whole different something else than what we have learned. So this was a very enlightening show, very very enlightening, and I just believe it needs to be a part two because I think we can talk about this for the next 2 hours. And go watch Inside Out. You're right, Merrick. I've seen that. I've seen that
Yeah,
numerous times.
I've seen it. Yeah, great.
I
It's
love it.
yeah, that's good stuff. Go watch Inside Out. Matter of fact, this is your assignment, children. Watch Inside Out before this next show. You have over a month, over a month. So watch Inside Out. You could probably watch it twice. First time, just watch it. Second time, go back and take notes and allow yourself to be vulnerable and identify where you are and what reflects you in that movie,
Mm,
in that program.
Program.
mm, wow.
All right, y'all. My stomach growling.
Mm, mm.
Love y'all.
Love
Thank
y'all
you for
back.
tuning in.
Yep. I am love for you folks, and peace out.
And hair
And don't
grease.
forget to wear your hoochie daddy
Oh
shorts.
my.
Where your hoochie dad is.
All right. See
Peace.
you next time.
All right, engineer.